What is up, Montana sports fans? You've just stepped into Wide Left Sports, where the stories are real, the passion is loud, and the athletes come first. This isn't just another sports show. This is Montana. Small towns, big dreams, long nights, early mornings, and people who flat out love the game. From Friday night lights to summer ball under the sun, from gym floors to turf fields. If it matters here, we're talking about it. Today's episode is another chance to give Montana athletes the mic and let them tell their story the right way. So settle in, turn it up, and get ready, because this is Wide Left Sports. But first, here's a word from our sponsors. Wide Left Sports is proudly sponsored by TDS Fiber, bringing fast, reliable internet to Billings and beyond. Whether you're streaming the big game, uploading content, or just trying to keep the whole house connected, TDS Fiber delivers the speed you need without the lag. Check availability in your neighborhood and make the switch today. TDS Fiber, internet built for real life. Hello, welcome to Wide Left Sports. Today I am joined by Bellevue University volleyball coach Trish Siedlik. Trish, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thank you.
Of course. So my first question is, in our little pre-interview questionnaire, you mentioned that you've been coaching for a long time there at Bellevue. So what kind of is your journey, and what gave you the coaching bug to want to coach volleyball for as long as you have?
Yeah, born and raised here in Omaha. I came to Bellevue, and I've been here for 21 years. I was at another university at my own alma mater 4 years before that. So I just finished up my 24th season. And I think the coaching bug didn't start until after I was a little bit forced into it. Forced as in they asked me, and then I reluctantly obliged to do it. But I worked corporate out of college. I wanted to make money. So I worked at an engineering firm here in town in Omaha. And a high school team actually asked me to coach. And so I did that at the same time. And then my alma mater, my head coach who recruited me, resigned to take another job, and that opened up, and I was 24 at the time, so I didn't get the job when they asked me to apply. They said I was too young still. They actually rented vans, so being 24, you could vans. So I was the new head coach's assistant, being an alum and everything. He thought that would be a good idea, and after a couple weeks, that didn't work out. And he left, and I stayed on as interim, and that was all she wrote. So I was interim, working at an engineering firm and a head coach for about a full season. And I finally threw in the towel and said, I can't do both, of course. And I like this a little bit more. So like I said, I was a little forced to like it.
I love that. So then, you mentioned you were born and raised in Omaha, and your coaching has really been in Omaha as well. And so what has it been like to coach in your hometown and be able to have most of your career right there in Omaha?
Well, Omaha is huge compared to a lot of the cities here in Montana. So there's a lot to do around here. We're also competing with Creighton, UNO.
Right.
Obviously, the Huskers. So volleyball is a gold mine here. So to have my family in and around the area close by, my husband is a captain on the fire department. So we definitely need a village to help us. So both his family and my family, when we had children, that was something to definitely work out, and in order to be successful and to allow me to travel and do all this stuff, we definitely had to lean on our own parents on both sides to help with that. So and my sister also too. So that in order to be successful, that all had to happen with a full on 24-hour shift at the fire department, and then if I was traveling. So it's a great town to have volleyball. Everyone's on board with the state of Nebraska. Recruiting wise, we're also a volleyball school. So
Yeah.
I would say, since we're not competing with football, the city embraces the sport, in addition to now 2 pro teams in town. So something also up in Montana doesn't have. So the sport of volleyball is embraced here.
That's so awesome. So, you mentioned having to compete with Nebraska and Creighton right there in Omaha. And so, how do you kind of carve out your niche of player, your who you want to have at the University of Bellevue, and who do you look for in that hotbed of volleyball players?
Yeah, so I don't want to count us out of count out a recruit that we're looking at and think, oh, they're too good, or we do have to decide that pretty quickly, or at least know their background of what they kind of want for their hopes and dreams for a school, or if they want to leave. Not a lot of kids do want to stay in Nebraska, amazingly.
Same thing happens in Montana. So.
There's no mountains, no beach. But we decide pretty quickly who has practiced with some of the best, and shows that athleticism that we could work with and we can teach a lot more, and their ceiling is high. But it also comes down to the right fit and the right player, student athlete, right female to either stick around here, who wants to play in front of her family as well. And maybe not even so much that's so local that their family is here. Maybe it's within a few hours of driving. But we also get some randoms that write us from Hawaii or from Minnesota or from Colorado. So we've had those folks, or Vegas, Las Vegas. So we've had some folks that have dropped in our radar. I've just happened to click on it, and the relationship blossoms from there. So I don't spend a lot of time looking at a lot of those recruiting websites or things that pop up our way, but sometimes something catches my eye, and it's pretty cool then the story and how it comes about after they commit to us.
Oh, that's awesome. So then that was going to be another one of my questions with recruiting is how does a player catch your eye? Especially when you say you're not spending a whole lot of time on those websites. So then how does somebody from not right there catch your eye?
Yeah, I'm a maybe an old school coach. I don't even know what the definition of that really is anymore, but I don't watch the ball a whole lot. I watch their movement. I watch if there's going to be a habit that we can maybe correct. One thing that we worked on this spring is how to throw a ball. A lot of players do not have those arm mechanics that even a pitching coach would be able to teach them. So we worked on that with our baseball coach during the spring, and have really opened up a lot of things for us to help manage with our shoulders and just basic mechanics. So watching that now will probably catch my eye a little bit more, but athleticism, are they a good teammate? Are they talking to their team on the court appropriately? Are they paying attention in the huddle? Are they appropriate with their coach when their coach is talking? And then also, how are they talking with their parents in between matches? Or, I don't mind the TikTokers and everything, but I certainly want to see if you're focused and ready to go.
For sure. So now let's talk about the Frontier Conference, because it is an ever-growing conference. As I went in to send emails to the different schools in the conference, I didn't even realize how many are there. How cool is it to be a part of a conference that is growing and expanding its geographic outreach? I mean, you're in Nebraska, and there's schools all the way in Arizona.
Yeah. It's a little bit of a story on how this all kind of came about, but the commitment from both our president, Dr. Mary Hawkins, our athletic director, Ed Lahotek, and then also with the help of Scott Crawford, the commissioner with the Frontier, to make this work, have everyone be on board, knowing that this is going to be tough on the student athletes with the travel, with budgets. One thing that I was most happy with was the fact when we did travel and we did go up there, every city embraced the game itself. There was proper behavior during the games. There was no walking into a match in any city at any institution where you're like, this is going to be ugly. Let's just get in, let's get out. Everyone that we experienced was proper sportsmanship, and that made it for just a very great experience for our players, for our student athletes. Being on the road, we were in a hotel 21 days. Not for
That's
that
crazy.
last season. So that counts postseason as well. So I throw in nationals. Fortunate for us that we were able to experience it. But there was a lot of days in the hotel, and that could have really turned on us. Our team had wonderful grades, which a lot of volleyball players do. We know that we're not going to be changing due to weather or anything else like that. And we were also fortunate, no delays. There were some nightmare stories with some teams getting caught up or stranded or whatever and had to, or a tire out or something. We did have one of those though. But it was a wonderful experience, and I was really happy and pleased on how the Frontier handled the conference tournament and made it super special for the players. We've been in conferences. We've been in conferences where we just kind of throw everybody together again, and the commissioners work as hard as they can to make it a good experience. But I would say this was another pleasing experience from another conference. This is my third as a coach at every institution that I've been at, where it was just a good experience for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So you mentioned the grades, and obviously being a college institution, that's extremely important, but it also has to be extremely hard for those student athletes that are juggling all of the sports needs and demands, plus school and everything. So how do you as the coach kind of help them juggle that, especially for the incoming freshmen that don't really know what college is about?
Well, I know that there are some sports that will have some stories again to where, we thought we were playing today, now we're not. Now they're in class. Now they have to hurry up and juggle that. So again, without the weather, for us, we are pretty set. So we know ahead of time when we're going to be leaving. We can tell our professors ahead of time when we're going to be gone. Can we make this up ahead of time or after? Our school has committed to tutoring, where there's an online service where if we were in the hotel, they could hook up an appointment ahead of time and schedule that for maybe 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night. They do it for an hour and they hit the bed with a little bit better internet service in the hotel. So I think with our institution, they have committed just about every possible avenue to make them successful. In addition to the faculty working really well with the students and us coaches, making sure they have what they need. They can make up this, or they can come in ahead of time, like I said. So the saying goes, you have to try really hard to mess up here. You have to try really hard because of all the help, and the professors know their names. The professors come to the games. Our president is at our matches. So it is a true little family here at Bellevue.
I love to hear that. That's awesome. So my next question is, of course, you guys went to nationals this last year. And so what was that experience like to have that success for the program and, do so well? I know you guys made the Elite Eight. So what was that like to have such success for your guys' program?
I am very blessed to have, in my coaching career, I want to say out of the 24 some years or whatever, I think we've been to nationals about 18 out of those times. So getting to experience that and going, now it's in Sioux City. It has been in Sioux City for quite some time, and they do it awesome. It is run like a machine. Before that, they were at some institutions. So getting to go to nationals in San Diego, in Illinois, in Columbia, Missouri. So all over the country here. But Sioux City really does it right. So to say that we got to experience that, or myself as a coach with a lot of different teams coming through here and eras of alums, it is amazing that we got to experience that, because some don't. Some will never get to experience that. And this will come off wrong for sure, but I don't know how that feels. And I know what it feels to lose and not go. I also know how it feels to lose in one of the biggest matches of your life. But to get to go to the big dance, the final site is amazing. Walking in, being one of those top teams in the country is one of the best feelings in the world, to where you get to say, I did play against the number one team in the country, or we did get to play against the eventual champion. So that is pretty cool to say when you're having children and tell your kids, well, I got to play in this. And we've had student athletes that do get to say they've been there for or even Eve last year. Eve Fountain, one of our graduates now, got to, out of her 6 seasons, one of them being a red shirt, she got to go 5 times. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, great experience.
That is awesome. So my next question is, for those seniors and all of those successors that you have, or actually, I'm going to completely reword this. I'm sorry. When you went into the beginning of the year, who's kind of an unsung player that really helped you guys out this year, that towards the end of the year, they were one of your main players?
Well, last season, so going back to the 2024 season, coming off of a national runner-up finish, and again, one of the most devastating probably moments in our sports career, but what a great one at the same time. We graduated 4 players, so we were bringing in, I can't even remember my math anymore, but I think we were bringing in 7, but
Wow.
one came during spring. We had a couple injured, so we were going to end up with 22 on the team again, with two of those being injured. So we were graduating from that 24 season coming into 25. We were graduating one heck of a senior class that had not only the leadership, but the culture glue, if you will, maintaining that each and every day. And our group was wanting to protect that, almost to a point where we had to revisit and say, we don't need to protect or police it. We just need to keep growing it and know what we learned from that group. And I think we did a great job. I really do think, because the stars were in line, that couldn't have been the most perfect season in 2024 for us. So it was really hard to top. And so our expectations coming into the 25 season, being early in the coaches poll, number 2, and then having that Indiana Wesleyan game, who we lost to, on the schedule, it was just like one of those matches that we were just itching to get to. Let's play these other games and then let's get to that one. So we lost to Idaho off the bat, which was, again, another final team at the national championship in the final site. So our schedule was not going to be easy either. But I think playing at the Indiana Wesleyan game at a neutral site and beating them in 3 just took the gigantic monkey off our back so we could move on. And then from there, I think we just had a lot of confidence, again, with new players coming in with a new right side, a new outside, a new outside, a couple defensive players, and another middle to fill in that. But we had returning players. So we had returning players that maybe didn't see a lot of playing time or weren't starters to come in, but we had the confidence in them as well. So a lot of new parts. The class that came in was competitive enough to give us that look.
Oh, that's awesome. So my next question is, obviously we mentioned that you guys are right near a couple of bigger schools. And so what does it mean to you to have the support, to have people come into the volleyball games and supporting you guys, and just really showing support for the University of Bellevue?
Well, since I was hired, there was a discussion of a new gym. And those little conversations would pop up every once in a while. And I know I've gone on record a few times with some of our videos that we've done for this that I just couldn't believe it until I saw it. So our board, our president finally made it happen to where we have a brand new field house, a brand new gym on campus. The ceiling is super high. The other gym was not so high. So we had to earn every single point this year because the ball never touched the ceiling. So to have this in the community of Bellevue, and Bellevue is just a little smaller city from Bellevue for sure, but the community has embraced it. So opening night, when we played Dakota State, so opening conference match, it was a wonderful crowd to see. Even better was our senior night, knowing that we had 8 seniors on the team, to where this was going to be something to see. That we're playing the number 1 team in the country. We also played the number 1 team in the country in our previous gym. We beat them. We beat Providence this year on senior night, which is always an omen. But the crowd looking up there, the crowd was, I mean, we seat 1,200. I want to say there was probably 900 people there.
Wow.
And I could be exaggerating, whatever. No one, I don't think we counted, but it was a huge crowd. And to see little kids teams, to see the community, to hear, the person that owns the restaurant down the street came to hear about our Chamber of Commerce bringing folks. That's what I absolutely love to hear about Bellevue kind of adopting us as their team. Omaha gets UNO or Creighton. And then again, like I said, the Huskers, the whole state of Nebraska is on board with them. But the local media sources here in town have included us when they want to say the state of Nebraska is a volleyball state. Us NAI schools get included. So that's amazing to have the media hop on board, not just to say, the Division Ones, even University of Nebraska at Kearney and Wayne State are in the top tier of Division II. So we're all roped in together, and we take care of each other for sure.
Oh, that's so awesome. So if somebody from, say, Montana wants to come down to Bellevue and be either a student or a volleyball player, what is your pitch to them to come down and be a part of University of Bellevue?
We are a family. We are going to make sure that the resources that you need in order to graduate and move on to your career, because volleyball is going to be done someday. But in the meantime, we are going to help you financially. We are going to help you mentally. We're going to have those resources for you. The mental health side of sports, in addition to the stresses of just life in general. Bellevue University has every avenue possible to help them. And in addition to, we're going to have a good time. Our coaching staff make sure that we are going to not only challenge you, but also make sure that you're a better person walking out of here, whether it was because I had competition, because I had all the resources. We talk about how unselfish our team is, because some of them could go on and play at other teams or other universities or colleges, but they chose to be here, and they chose to still either take that backup role or the role to grow, but knowing that we're still going to treat each other with respect and almost kind of loyalty. Like I'm going to have your back, but when it's my turn, I'm going to be ready too. But I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader until that happens. So that's kind of how we treat our group. But our coaches are on board. We're with each other. We may disagree, but in a healthy way, and definitely in a way that our team knows that we are one unit. We are supportive of each other. So I think that's what makes us really unique. But no, we don't have beaches and we don't have mountains. But we do have the world's best zoo.
Yes.
And we have a little bit more stuff to do in town with, concerts and stuff like that. But I think it's a tight-knit family across the board with our athletic department, with our faculty and staff, and the community as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Trish, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day this morning to come on to the podcast and talk about all the things you have going down there at Bellevue. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of Wide Left Sports. If you liked what you heard, hit that subscribe button, share it with a friend, and keep spreading the word, because this platform grows when Montana sports fans show up for other Montana athletes. These stories matter, the work matters, and the passion around sports in this state is something truly special. Huge thank you to our sponsors for helping us make this possible, and thank you for listening, supporting, and riding with us. We've got more conversations coming, more athletes to highlight, and more Montana stories to tell. Until next time, keep supporting local sports, keep cheering loud, and keep it right here with Wide Left Sports.